Hello, and welcome back to Speak English Naturally. I'm Emma, and today I walked in feeling something I haven't felt in a very long time.
Let me guess. Nostalgia?
Nostalgia, exactly. And John, I'm impressed. You used that word perfectly.
I ate a thesaurus last week. It was more useful than the dictionary.
We are not eating books, John. But yes, nostalgia. That bittersweet feeling when you remember something from the past that made you happy, but also a little sad because it's gone.
Bittersweet. I love that word. Like when you eat chocolate that is also a little bit sad?
Not exactly, but kind of. Bittersweet means something that is both happy and painful at the same time, like remembering school.
Yes! Today, we are talking about school life and college life. Our memories, our friends, our terrible teachers, our most embarrassing moments.
Our proudest moments, our saddest goodbyes, the days we thought would last forever and didn't.
This is already making me feel things, Emma.
Good. That means the English is working, because the best way to learn a language is to feel something while you use it.
Okay, listeners, get your tea, sit somewhere comfortable, and come with us. We are going back to school today.
And as always, you will learn grammar, vocabulary, expressions, and idioms, but today it will all come through memory and story. Real English, real feelings, real life.
And real embarrassment.
Mostly from me.
Mostly from you. Let's begin. Today's episode is different. It's not just about English. It's about the universal human experience of growing up. Every learner in every country went to school. Every single one of you has a story. Today, John and Emma share theirs and help you find the words to share yours too. 1. First day of school. The most terrifying morning ever. So, John, let's start at the very beginning. Your very first day of school. What do you remember?
Oh, my first day. I remember everything. I was 5 years old. My mother was holding my hand. I was wearing a uniform that was too big because she bought it for me to grow into.
Ha! The classic too big uniform. Every child has that photo.
The sleeves was covering my hands completely. I looked like I was being swallowed by a blue shirt.
And quick grammar note. The sleeves was covering should be the sleeves were covering. Sleeves is plural, more than one sleeve. So we use were, not was. The sleeve was covering, the sleeves were covering.
The sleeves were covering my hands, like two blue caves.
Ha! 2 blue caves? That's actually beautiful writing, John.
Thank you. I also cried.
On the first day?
For the first 3 days. My mother had to sit outside the classroom window so I could see her.
Oh, that is actually very sweet.
The teacher brought her a chair. She sat there with a book. She pretended to read, but she was watching me the whole time.
John, that's making me emotional.
She is a very good mother. She still brings me food every Sunday, even though I am a grown man.
From sitting outside your classroom to bringing Sunday food. That is dedication. What about your first school friend?
His name was Marco. He sat next to me on the first day and said, "Your uniform is too big." And I said, "I know." And we were best friends for 8 years.
The foundation of great friendship. Mutual honesty about clothing.
What about your first day of school, Emma?
I was terrified, but I didn't cry. I was too scared to cry. I just went completely silent.
Silent, Emma? I cannot imagine this.
I know, but I was a very quiet child. I sat in the corner, watched everything, and didn't say a single word for the entire first morning.
Did anyone talk to you?
One girl, her name was Sophie. She sat next to me, put a crayon on my desk, a yellow one, and said, "You can borrow this if you want." I didn't even need a crayon, but I took it.
And
Sophie was my best friend for the next 12 years.
A yellow crayon started a 12-year friendship?
Sometimes friendship begins with the smallest gesture, a crayon, a comment about a uniform.
Or a shared sandwich? Or a pencil? Or just someone sitting next to you when everyone else moved away?
Exactly. And that is something language learners know very well too. Sometimes someone speaks to you in English when you were afraid, and everything changes.
2. Teachers. The ones we loved and the ones we survived.
Okay, let's talk about teachers, because every school story has a teacher in it.
The good ones and the not so good ones.
I had a teacher in primary school. Her name was Mrs. Fernandez. She was very strict, very serious, she didn't smile very often.
She rarely smiled, or she seldom smiled. Both are more natural. Rarely and seldom are adverbs meaning not very often.
She rarely smiled. But when she smiled, the whole classroom felt warmer, like the sun came out.
Oh, that's a beautiful description.
She was also the teacher who taught me that I was good at something. In her class, we had to write a short story every Friday.
And?
One day, she read my story to the whole class. She didn't say my name first. She just said, "I want to read you something." And she read my words. And everyone was laughing and listening. And then she said, "John wrote this." And I felt proud and seen. Like I existed in a new way.
A good teacher can do that. They can make you feel like your voice matters.
Mrs. Fernandez, if you are somehow listening to this English podcast, thank you.
Huh, I love that. And I had a teacher like that too. Mr. Harrison. English teacher, secondary school.
Of course, an English teacher. Of course.
He had this way of reading poetry out loud that made you feel like the words were alive, like they were inside the room with you. He once read a poem so beautifully that 3 students cried.
Were you one of them?
I had something in my eye.
Emma cried at a poem.
I had something in my eye, John.
Did you have a teacher you didn't like?
I had one. I won't say his name. But he had a very particular way of making students feel small when they answered incorrectly. Not constructive, just diminishing.
Diminishing. What does that mean?
To diminish something means to make it seem smaller or less important. A diminishing teacher makes you feel like your answer and your effort was worthless. The opposite of encouraging.
I had one of those too. She would sigh very loudly whenever I put my hand up.
Oh, no. A very specific sigh. A sigh that said, "Here comes John again with his wrong answer."
That is genuinely unkind.
But you know what? I kept putting my hand up. Every single time.
Because?
Because I decided that her sigh was not about me. It was about her. And I had questions. And questions deserve answers.
John, that might be the wisest thing you have ever said on this podcast.
I have my moments.
3. The most embarrassing school moments. Brace yourselves. Right. Embarrassing moments. I think this might be John's strongest section.
I have so many. I don't know where to begin.
Start with the worst one.
The worst one. Okay. I was 12 years old. We had a school play. I had one line. One line.
That sounds manageable.
The line was, "The king has arrived." 4 words. I practiced it 100 times.
And what happened?
I walked onto the stage. The lights were very bright. 200 people were looking at me. My brain went completely empty.
Oh no.
Complete silence. 10 seconds. 20 seconds. The teacher was in the wings making hand signals at me. "What did you do?" I said, "The king has a dog?"
The king has a dog?
The audience laughed. The teacher looked like she needed medical attention. The boy playing the king was completely confused. But the audience laughed, and I took a bow.
You took a bow?
I decided to commit to the mistake. If you make a mistake, commit to it fully. Bow, smile, exit.
That is honestly the best advice for life and for English learning. If you say something wrong, commit to it, correct it, and move on with confidence.
Tell me another embarrassing moment, Emma. The science class one isn't enough.
Fine. Year 11. I had a huge crush on a boy in my class. His name was Oliver.
Oh, a school crush?
This is excellent content. I wrote his name in my notebook with a little heart next to it, the way every teenager does.
Of course.
The teacher collected our notebooks to check our homework, collected them all in one pile, and then, on the classroom projector, she accidentally displayed a page from my notebook while looking for a student's homework.
No. No, Emma.
There it was, Oliver with a small heart, on the projector, in front of 30 people. What did you do? I stared at my desk and pretended I wasn't in my own body. And Oliver? He turned and looked at me, and I looked at my desk, and we never spoke of it again.
Did he ever like you back?
He gave me his last biscuit at lunch the next day.
That's a yes in every language.
It really is.
4. School friendships, the ones that shaped us. Let's talk about friends. School friends, because they are different from all other friends. How do you mean? Because school friends, the real ones, saw you before you knew who you were. They knew you when you were still becoming. Oh, that's a beautiful way to put it.
Marco, my friend with the uniform comment, he knew me when I was still figuring out everything. What I liked, who I wanted to be, what made me laugh. He saw all of that forming. And those friendships have a specific quality that's hard to replace. A shared language that only the two of you understand. Inside jokes, nicknames, memories that only make sense to you. Yes, Sophie and I had a code word for when we thought a lesson was boring. We'd use a specific pencil case sound, just a click, and the other would know. 2 clicks meant I'm about to fall asleep. 3 clicks meant rescue me. A secret click language? We communicated in clicks for 3 years. Teachers never suspected a thing. That is the most British form of rebellion I have ever heard. Completely silent, completely polite, completely effective. Marco and I had a different system. We passed notes, small pieces of paper folded very small. What did the notes say? Important things like, what is for lunch today? And do you have a spare pen? And I don't understand anything the teacher is saying. Critical information.
One time I passed a note that said, I think today is the worst day of my life. And Marco passed it back with, same, but at least it's together.
John, that's lovely.
He wrote it in terrible handwriting and the note smelled like lunch, but still.
The best things in life often come on slightly crumpled paper that smells of lunch. 5. Exams. The universal nightmare. Okay, we cannot talk about school without talking about exams.
Oh, my stomach is hurting just from the word.
Exam anxiety is a very real thing, and almost every person who has ever sat in a school chair knows the feeling.
The night before an exam, studying at midnight, feeling like your brain is completely full and also completely empty at the same time.
That is such an accurate description. Full of stress, empty of actual information.
Exactly.
I used to study so hard the night before and then sit in the exam and nothing. Everything I learned the night before just evaporated.
Evaporated. What a great word. To evaporate means to disappear, like water turning into steam. We use it figuratively here. The knowledge evaporated from his mind.
It did, like steam. Gone. And then I would walk out of the exam and Marco would say, "How did you do?" And I would say, "I answered the question about history." And he would say, "This was a maths exam, John."
You answered history in a maths exam? I panicked. I wrote what I knew. How did the teacher respond?
She wrote, "Interesting, but wrong subject," and gave me 2 marks for handwriting.
2 marks for handwriting? That is either very kind or very cruel, and I cannot decide which.
Kind, I think, because my handwriting is very good.
There's always a silver lining. Now, what about Emma's exam disasters?
Yes. Tell me, Emma. You seem like someone who always passed everything perfectly.
I worked very hard, but there was one exam, A-level chemistry, where I sat down, opened the paper, read the first question, and genuinely thought I was reading a different language.
And?
I spent the first 10 minutes reading the question over and over. Then I took a very deep breath. Then I wrote everything I knew about chemistry, even things that weren't asked, and hoped something would stick.
Did it work?
I passed. Just barely. The examiner must have had a very generous spirit that day.
Or very low standards.
John.
I said that with love.
6. College life. Freedom, fear, and finding yourself. Let's move forward in time now. College, university, that big, terrifying, exciting leap.
College was completely different from school. Everything was different.
How so?
In school, someone tells you where to sit, when to eat, what to learn. In college, nobody tells you anything. You are responsible for everything.
The freedom is wonderful, and the freedom is absolutely terrifying.
Yes, both at exactly the same time. The first week of college, I felt like I was standing at the edge of a very tall cliff, and someone said, "Jump, it's fine." And I jumped, and I didn't know how to fly.
But you learned.
Very slowly, and with many mistakes, and once with a very confusing washing machine that turned all my white shirts slightly pink.
Oh, the laundry disaster. A classic first-year experience.
I wore a pink shirt to class for 3 weeks because I didn't want to admit what happened.
And what happened eventually?
My flatmate, the person I shared the flat with, told me gently that the pink was not working. I agreed, we went to the laundry together, and I learned how to separate colors.
An essential life skill they should teach at school, but somehow don't.
Along with how to cook pasta, how to pay a bill, and how to talk to a doctor when you are sick and your mother is in a different city.
Yes. College teaches you the things school doesn't. Not because school was wrong, but because some lessons only arrive when you are truly on your own. My first week at university, I was genuinely scared. I'd come from a small town. The university was in a big city. And on my very first evening, I sat in my room completely alone and I cried.
Alone in a new place? That feeling is so specific.
It is. Homesickness is what it's called. That ache for the familiar. Your family, your house, your kitchen smell, your routines.
Homesickness? We say in my language, it is the pain of home.
That's actually what it means in Greek, too. Nostalgia comes from nostos, meaning homecoming, and algos, meaning pain.
Nostalgia is literally the pain of wanting to go home.
That's beautiful and sad. Language always knows more than we think. Did you feel better after the first week?
The second night, I left my door open, something a friend told me to do, and the girl next door knocked. Her name was Priya. She said, "I have too much pasta. Do you want some?" And I said yes. And we sat on my floor and ate pasta and talked for 4 hours.
And Priya became?
One of my closest friends. She was at my graduation. She was at my wedding. She will be in my life forever.
Pasta. Sophie had a yellow crayon. Priya had pasta. You are a person who is saved by small offerings.
Ha! I really am. A crayon, a biscuit, a bowl of pasta. These are the things my friendships are built on.
The best things always are. 7. The sad part. Goodbyes and growing apart. We have to talk about the hard part too. Because school and college don't last forever. And the friendships that feel permanent, sometimes they aren't. Marco and I, we lost touch after school.
What happened?
Nothing dramatic, nothing bad. We just went in different directions. He went to a different city, I went to a different country. We said we would always stay in contact, and then life just filled up, and the messages got shorter, and then there were no messages.
Drifting apart. It's one of the quietest kinds of loss. No argument, no ending, just distance.
It hurts in a different way than a fight. A fight you can understand. You know what went wrong. Drifting is you just slowly become strangers who used to know each other.
Strangers who used to know each other. I think that might be the most precise description of losing a friend I've ever heard.
I still have his number in my phone.
Have you ever thought about calling him?
Every time I smell school lunch.
Huh. Do you think you will?
Maybe. After this episode, maybe this conversation will give me courage.
I hope it does. Sophie and I, we nearly drifted apart during university. We were in different cities, different lives. And then one day she called me completely out of the blue.
Out of the blue? That means unexpectedly, right?
Yes. Out of the blue means something happened with no warning, no buildup. Like lightning from a clear sky. She called out of the blue. He arrived out of the blue.
What did Sophie say when she called?
I just wanted to hear your voice. That was it. Nothing dramatic, just that.
And?
We talked for 3 hours, and it was like no time had passed at all.
That is the thing about real friendship. It doesn't expire. It just waits.
8. The best part. What school gave us forever.
Okay, we've talked about the funny parts, the sad parts, the embarrassing parts. Let's end this section on something good.
What did school give you, John? If you had to name one thing, not a person, not a memory, but something school put inside you that stayed.
Courage.
Really?
Yes, because school was the first place where I was scared, genuinely scared, and I had to show up anyway. First day, exams, school play, putting my hand up when the teacher sighed. Every day, something required a small act of courage, and I did it because I had no choice. But the muscle that was built, that courage muscle, I still use it every day.
That's beautiful. I think school gave me curiosity. That restless feeling of, but why? But how? But what if? I think a good education feeds that feeling rather than quieting it.
What does restless mean?
Restless means unable to be still, always moving, always wanting more. A restless mind is one that can't stop asking questions and exploring.
So you are restless.
Huh, in the best possible way.
And what about friends?
What do you want to say about the people you met in school and college?
That they shaped you in ways you only understand later. The friend who believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. The person who laughed at your joke first. The one who stayed after everyone else left. These people, even if you don't see them anymore, are still
in you.
Right.
That's true. Marco taught me to be direct. Be honest. Don't make things complicated. Say what you mean and eat your lunch before someone else does.
Huh. Very practical wisdom.
He was a very practical person.
Priya taught me that generosity is the fastest way to make a friend. You don't need common interests. You don't need history. You just need to say, I have too much pasta. Do you want some?
The pasta theory of friendship.
Huh. I might get that on a card.
And what about Sophie and the yellow crayon?
Sophie taught me that showing up quietly is just as powerful as showing up loudly. She didn't give a speech. She put a crayon on my desk. And that small, quiet act changed everything.
Small gestures, big lives.
Always.
9. Motivation. Learning English is like going back to school. Before we go to the word tour, I want to make a connection between school and English learning because I think they are more similar than people realize.
How so?
When you are learning English as an adult, you are doing something very brave. You are sitting in a new classroom, metaphorically. You don't know the rules yet. You might feel embarrassed when you make a mistake. You might feel like everyone else knows more than you.
That is exactly how I felt on my first day of school. And exactly how I felt the first time I tried to speak English with native speakers.
And what did you do on your first day of school?
I cried, and then I stayed.
And what did you do when English felt impossible?
I made mistakes, and then I tried again.
The method is the same. The courage is the same. The only difference is that you are older now and the uniform fits better.
This is true. The uniform fits much better now.
Learning a language at any age is an act of bravery. You are choosing to be a beginner again, to not know, to ask questions, to sound imperfect. That takes real strength.
And just like school, it gets better. The lessons become easier, the friends arrive, the uniform stops swallowing your hands.
And one day you sit in the exam or in a real conversation and you realize, I can do this. I have been doing this. All those small days added up.
All those small days added up. I like that.
So if you are struggling today, that's okay. You are in the early chapters. The story gets better. Keep turning the pages.
And if anyone told you that your English is not good enough, remember my teacher and her sigh. Her sigh was about her. Your English is about you, and it is growing every single day.
10 dot closing. The bell rings. We're at the end of episode 6, John. How do you feel?
Honestly, I feel like I want to call Marco.
Then do it.
Right now?
After the episode.
Okay. After the episode, I will call him and I will say, your uniform comment started the best friendship of my childhood, and I miss you. And also, did you know I have a podcast now?
That is a perfect opening.
And I will use only past simple and present perfect, and I will not make grammar mistakes.
You will make some mistakes, and that is completely fine.
To everyone listening, thank you for walking through those school corridors with us today.
We hope this episode brought back some memories. Good ones, funny ones, bittersweet ones. And we hope it gave you some English to describe them, because your stories deserve to be told in any language, but today in English.
If this episode made you think of someone, a school friend, a teacher, a moment, please write about it in English. Even one sentence. I remember. That's enough to start.
Take care of your English, take care of your memories, and take care of each other.
This is John, who is definitely not going to cry after this recording.
And this is Emma, who had something in her eye again.
See you in episode 7. Bye-bye, learners.